So this is me, about to dive an industrial chimney with a drone that was designed to be a fun little beginner rig. See, it started 1 month back when DJI released the Neo. This was designed for ease of use for beginners, but buried deep within the settings, you can unlock full manual mode. This is the same mode used by racing and freestyle pilots, so I want to see how capable this beginner drone truly is. Specifically, I set out to complete 5 maneuvers. I'd like to put a bit here about how I could break my drone trying these tricks, and while that is true, I don't actually have the drone yet, so before we do anything, I gotta get one.
It looks very futuristic.
And it should follow you, Daniel. It's currently using software tracking to follow Daniel here. Oh, good. And this is how it was designed to be used. Supposedly. What the fuck? But to unlock the FPV mode, you need to get this special remote and goggles. While I attempt to pair them together, let me direct your attention to the building behind me. This is the holy grail of FPV spots. Lots of pilots fly here to test their skills, so it seemed only perfect to test the Neo here. So the first trick is a bit more of a calibration test, and this is going to be a race launch. Honestly, I just kind of want to see if this can even do it. A race launch is comprised of 2 parts, the raise and the acceleration. The hardest part for this drone is going to be the raise, since it doesn't have those 2 arms that a normal drone would use. I tried to give it a go, but with no luck. It was only after I added a metal plate here was it able to catch and kind of hold the angle. Okay, I'm looking at a pole at the moment. Alright, that was pretty mid as far as race launches goes. I don't think we're getting any better than that. So let's move on. All right, now the next trick we want to try with the Neo is a power loop. And this trick looks like this, and it's one of the harder tricks to do with a small drone. But now the question is, can we power loop these gaps here? Because this is a long distance to travel in a power loop. Shoot, not water, oh my god. Now if you couldn't tell right there, I wasn't even in a power loop and it was struggling to pull out of that drop. See, drones this small generally struggle to do power loops because of the lack of power to weight. I've made a little diagram here so you can see that these are the parts where you need a lot of power. And even though I was aware of this... Yo, far out. Okay, please, no damage. Oh! At first, I thought it was just the lens that broke, but it would turn out that it was also broken internally. Drone calibration doesn't seem to be working, and as far as what I can see through the goggles, the gimbal is damaged, as in there must be like a cable broken or something inside there. So I think that's it. We are done. We drove 2 hours to fly for a few minutes. I'm gonna be honest, I was ready to give up on this video here. My thinking was that I either had to throw in the towel or buy a new drone completely. But as I packed up the car, I realized something. I just kind of remembered that I've got DJI Care Refresh, and that means you can get the drone replaced 4 times within 2 years, no questions asked. So I'm submitting the details right now, so we can get a new Neo. Okay, drone's working, and we're off with a heap of stuff on our back. Yeah, let's hope we don't drop anything here. Back at the same location, this time we're not gonna crash. I decided to change the goal and power loop this pole, and at this point, I'd been going over the technique in my head for the last 4 days, so I was confident I could do it. I had a bit of a crash here where it got stuck. It's stuck up there. But I was able to get it down easily, and on the next attempt, we got it. That's it. That is it. The next trick is a split S. Now, I was pretty confident this trick wouldn't actually be that hard, but when I tried it, it clipped the edge of the platform and it broke a propeller. Not catastrophic, but we've lost a prop. And then I realized, I don't think I have a spare prop. And that's when it dawned on me that we might have to leave and then come back here again. Yo. Okay, I do have the props. Okay. So a few odd minutes later, I was back in the air. Now, looking back at the footage, the reason I crashed was because of an issue with the throttle. When I cut the throttle, there was still thrust coming from the drone. This pushed me forward into the platform. After accounting for this, I managed to get it, but to really prove that I'd master it, I decided to split S into this hole here. So before we attempt that, let's just have a look to see how big that gap actually is. I went to the 2nd level, so there's literally like holes in the ground all across this place, and I realized that it was definitely doable. So that's the hole there. It's not crazy tight, but at the same time, I'd say this drone isn't super accurate as well. I'm a little bit nervous if we can actually get this. Now, something I've taken for granted is that the 5-inch has so much more power. This means it has so much more control. With the Neo, you kind of lose that confidence because if you do something wrong, you're not sure if you can pull out of it. This combined with the lack of thrust control, yeah, we need to drop that throttle. It was becoming apparent that this drone had its flaws. No. Okay, let's try to not crash it this time. Yeah. All right, no, that counts. I'm not doing that again. Oh boy. Now, this next one is definitely not a good idea. And it's a trick that even with a full-sized 5-inch drone, I struggle with. So why not try to do it with the Neo? So the trick I'm talking about is a reverse split S. And it's done by rolling 180 degrees and then again pitching 180 degrees. And then you use this momentum to keep flying backwards. Now, the hardest part about this trick is that once you flip over and you're going backwards, you're flying blind. So we could easily run into a pole or just the ground. Let's see how we go there. Oh, that was clean. Oh shoot, that was clean. I actually can't believe we got that so fast. Turns out those same thrust problems made this particular trick really easy to do. All right, so the next trick is a dive. Now, I don't know if you can see, but this place here has one of the craziest, where's the zoom? Can you even see that? Chimneys around here. I don't actually know if you could call it a chimney. And so it's a pretty common thing to be able to dive this with the full-size drone. So let's try it with the Neo. So in theory, there's not much to this trick. You go up, you flip it around, and you dive down. So I took off and I started accelerating upwards. You'll notice right away that the wind is rocking the drone right now. And this is nowhere near the biggest issue here. As I commit to the dive, it was all going well until bam. This is called a washout. This has happened to me before, many months ago with another DJI drone. So I knew how to deal with it, but it wasn't looking good for the Neo. So I tried once more, but as it would have it, it happened again. This time, taking the drone out completely. The crash broke the frame at the motor, but luckily I was able to push it back in and get it back in the sky. To make this trick happen, I had to slowly pull out slightly earlier and slower. I was locked down. My heart is beating so much right now. 3, 2, 1.